Dum, 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 dum. Oh shit.
Hello and welcome to Cretaceous Cantina. I'm really excited because today we're looking at the Mattel Jurassic World Action Attack Suchomimus. This is from Wave 2 of the Action Attack series in the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. I got this on Amazon.com for $19.99. They have been going in and out of stock over the last couple of weeks. If you see them go up, you kind of got to be quick. They are selling out pretty quickly at this point. I imagine as time goes on, they will saturate a little bit more, not only online, but also in retail. So hang in there if you can't find it. This looks really cool. The packaging looks really cool. I've said that before, but I haven't seen the Suchomimus in person. I do like what I am seeing. We'll break it down in just a little bit. First, let's take a look here. Blue Noah, nothing new. Tells you down there you get Chomp Attack, and you also get the little new designation over here on the side, just to let you know that this is Wave 2. At the back, we get a nice render there of the toy. It's demonstrating the action attack. You press the button on the back, and it rears its head down and opens its mouth. Very cool, massive chomping action. At the lower left, you get a look at some other dinosaurs from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. Those are from Wave 1. Here at the bottom, there's really nothing new to see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a little bit of time, get this gallon box. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Suchomimus. And here she is out of the packaging. Let's start off with some measurements. From front to back, we're looking at about 15 inches. From top to bottom, about 6 3/4 inches. Very good size for this action attack dinosaur. And aesthetically, she looks great. I really like the sculpt of this one. It has a very fantastical, sort of dragon-esque look about it. I really like what they did with the fins. I know that some people online have been saying, I don't really like that. I think it's okay. We didn't actually see it in the movie, so it's plausible that it might have looked like this in universe, even though there are some graphics on the official website that show it looking a little bit different. Doesn't have the fins, but the coloration is quite similar. Like with the baryonyx, you have a very narrow, long snout, and you can see that she's posed one leg forward, one leg back. That's pretty much how all the Jurassic World toy line is. From the opposite side, she looks just as good. I'm really liking the sculpt. It has a very aquatic feel about it. Like you can imagine this kind of living in lakes or in rivers. Just a very oceanic look to it, which I'm really digging. And I'm really getting that vibe too from the colors. All around, I think she looks terrific. Let's go and take a close-up look at her head. Again, a very dragon-like, mystical look, and that really sits right with me. I know that that isn't necessarily the look of the dinosaurs in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but for this particular toy, and again, since we didn't see it on screen, I can totally accept it. I really like it. I really like the sculpt. There's quite a bit of detail in there. If you look along her snout, you can see the scales, you can see the texturing. That looks very good. The eyes are nicely done, basically an orange color. With a little dark blue maybe or black pupil. From the opposite side here, you can see that as well. She's looking very nice. The teeth look good. They're a yellowy sort of color. I like the deeper blue that they used around the eye. And then, of course, for the majority of the body, you have a slightly lighter blue sort of tone going on here. It's a great color. I think it works really well in this toy. What's also interesting is you can see that there is a gradient applied. If you go down to the legs, it gets darker. More of a deeper sort of blue. Not quite as dark as what you have here around the eye, but it is definitely deeper than the upper portions of the body. The belly is also a little bit lighter. Pretty much the same color that you have here up top. For the forelimbs, you don't have painted claws. They might be a little bit glossed up to kind of highlight them a little bit, but they're not actually painted. For the hind limbs, you do have paint. You have gray toe claws. Even the dew claws have been painted, which hasn't been the case on many of these Jurassic World toys. So that is a kind of a nice detail to see. There at the bottom, if you're doing the Jurassic Facts app, you can go ahead and scan that. It looks pretty nice. There's your little T-Rex skeleton logo right there. All in all, I really like the sculpt. I really like the detail that has been applied to this dinosaur. It's not the most detailed looking thing in the world, of course, but it's very adequate for the Jurassic World Action Attack line. I was talking about the colors. You also have this kind of like almost like a mustard, but a little bit more subdued, I would say. Kind of like a little bit less vibrant than mustard. It's like a greenish yellow color. And I love the way that it looks. I like that the fin is that color, but I also like the pattern that's here along the entirety of the body. It's very nice. It gives a nice little detail to the dinosaur, and it's great how it's on the snout as well. And they carried it pretty far down the tail. You guys know that on a lot of this line, they stopped the paint about right here. For this one, they went pretty far, almost to the very end there. So that is very nice to see. The inside of the mouth, you can see that they did paint it. It's kind of like a mauve sort of color, and there is some gloss in there, which I greatly appreciate. Kind of gives it a slicked look. Now let's talk articulation. So you do have joints up here that are intermingled into the action feature. We'll look at that in a second, but first let's go ahead and look at the forelimbs. So you have ball hinge joints. You can move them outward, you can move them forward, backward. Pretty nice. I will say that these are very soft, very plasticky feeling. I'm not a huge fan of that. I would like these to be a little more sturdy. Maybe that was for safety reasons. The hind limbs are also on ball hinges, so you can move them out and you can move them forward and back. They are ratcheted, so you can kind of see where they're stopping, like right there, right there. And it's nice that they do move out as well. It helps you for posing. Here at the tail, you also have a ball joint, so you can go up and down. You can spin it, and you can go side to side. Love that. Now for the action feature, she has a button right here on her back. Press that, and she chomps. Quite similar to what we get with the Carnotaurus. For this one, it doesn't feel quite as strong of a mechanism. It does feel a little bit smoother, if that makes sense. It seems to work pretty well. You press it fast. It's a quicker chomp. If you do it slowly, it's a slower chomp. And I think it works pretty well. I like that. Let's do a little bit of a size comparison here, looking at the Action Attack Carnotaurus. These are both part of the same assortment. You can see that the Carnotaurus is a little bit higher, maybe about 1.5 inches taller. But when you place them side by side, you can see that the Suchomimus is a little bit longer, about 1.5 inches longer. So pretty similar dimensions. You just get 1.5 inches on top for the Carno and 1.5 inches of length for the Sucho. I also feel like I should show these two together since they are quite similar in aesthetic. You have the Baryonyx and you have the Suchomimus. Baryonyx is a little bit shorter in height and shorter in length. But nonetheless, it is cool to see these two together. I mean, who would have thought that around the same time we'd be getting 2 official Jurassic Park toys of a Suchomimus and a Baryonyx. And not just that, we also have the Spinosaurus coming in the Legacy Collection. So a really great time to be a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World toy collector. Let's bring in a human action figure. We have the Mercenary so that we can see how they look next to each other. The Suchomimus definitely has some pretty good heft to it. If you were to come in contact with it at Jurassic World, no doubt you'd probably be eaten. All right, my friends, so there you have it. This is the Mattel Jurassic World Action Attack Suchomimus. All in all, you guys, I am completely happy with this. I think the aesthetics are beautiful here. Even though it does have a little bit of a mystical sort of fantasy look about it, I think it works really well. I think that Mattel did a good job with the aesthetics. All the sculpting, the texturing is nicely done. Again, not the absolute most detailed looking toy, but for Mattel's Jurassic World line, it's completely sufficient. I really like the colors. I think that that's probably one of the highlights of the toy for me personally. The blue colors that they used here really look nice, and the yellowish green highlight that it has along the back looks terrific. The articulation works quite well. She balances very well. I'm not having any issues yet. I know it's very early, but not having any issues yet with her falling over or anything. The action feature works very well. And she's a good size. I really like the overall size that she has. I would say that I personally like her better than the Carnotaurus. I love the Carnotaurus. I love the Stegosaurus. But for the Action Attack line, I would say that the Suchomimus so far is my favorite. Really hoping that they add more to this line. I know there's more dinosaurs I'd like to see, and I'm sure that you would like to see. So here's hoping Mattel continues this assortment in the future. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, do give us a like, do subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to Cantina Chatter on iTunes. If you're so inclined, do check out our Patreon page. It is linked down below. We appreciate all your support. By supporting on Patreon, you do get exclusive access to Victoria's Cantina through Twitter and through other means. We have different tiers you can check out. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Cretaceous Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.